up, you guys? Welcome back to So by GG 101. So today is Tuesday, which means I'm going to give you a recap, review, whatever, of Pretty Little Liars. That's right, our favorite show for Tuesdays. So today I'm reviewing episode 2 of season 7, which is the season finale for this series, and this episode is called Bedlam. So I hope I'm pronouncing that right anyway. So in this episode, there's kind of like a lot of things that are going on. If you remember my review from the first episode, I was not captivated. I was not impressed. I thought it was a horrible way, actually, to begin a series season finale. But okay. So in this episode, it kind of picks up where it left off. At the end of episode 1, we see Hannah had finally escaped this barn stall prison that she was in, and she runs out to the middle of the road, and Mary Drake is the one who kind of like comes to her rescue and is like her savior, I guess you could call it. So the season 2 starts off with that. So she's in the car, and of course Hannah was abducted before they found out that, you know, about Mary Drake. So Hannah's just really confused, like, who are you? And she's, like, really standoffish, and Mary Drake is trying to be more helpful and more, like, homey or motherly towards her. And Hannah's just, like, not having it. I mean, after all, she was abducted and kept in this barn horse stall thingy for however long. And Mary's like, are you sure you don't want me to take you to the police or to the hospital or anything like that? And Hannah goes, no, I need to see my friends first. So Hannah has Mary drop her off to Spencer's, and that's where they're all there, and they're just like, what happened? Are you okay? And she's like, look, I don't want to talk about it. All we need to figure out is, you know, what's going on and who this A is. That's when they tell her that they found out that Allison is actually the person who killed CC Drake, and that they gave that information to this new Uber A, and that's probably why, you know, this Uber A hasn't come after Hannah. And Hannah begins to just have like this one-track mind, you know, like she doesn't want to be reminded of what she went through. She's almost desensitized, kind of like when you go through something traumatic and you're just desensitized to everything, like you're numb to everything. That's what Hannah's going through. So of course Caleb is super happy that Hannah's okay, which Spencer is secretly dying inside, or not so secretly. And you know, they kind of revisit the kiss that they shared, and Hannah pretty much dismissed it, saying that, look, I always felt safe with you, even when we argued and whatnot, you always made me feel safe, and that's just what that was. And so I think Caleb was just really hurt because he felt like it was more than that. And Hannah's like, yeah, no. So of course everybody's like, do you want to talk to Jordan, which is Hannah's fiance? And she's like, I'll talk to him whenever the time is right, like, just leave me alone. You know, it's just kind of the reality or personality that she's having. Then Hannah has a flashback to how she first met Jordan, and it kind of like makes her realize, listen, I need to figure out what it is that I want, and I need to go after it. So if you remember, she's staying at Lucas's apartment or house or whatever in Rosewood while she's there. And Lucas sent over a package for her to sign, and it was just a whole bunch of paperwork about that store that he wanted to open for her. Because as we all know, Lucas is like in love with Hannah, always has been. And at first she's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to sign it. And he's like, well, why not? Because we get to see Lucas again. And she's all like, because... And this is kind of where we start to see the breakdown of Hannah and their true shield coming down of Hannah. And Hannah's like, because I can't make decisions. Everybody thinks that I'm well put together and that I'm super smart, but I'm really not. And, you know, Lucas is like, actually, you really are. That's the point. That's why I want to go into business with you. And she's like, well, I'm not going to make any decisions. And he said, well, just so you know, not making a decision is making a decision. So she's like, fine, whatever, and she starts to have flashbacks to how she first met Jordan and this, that, and the third. So she goes to New York and she visits Jordan, and Jordan is just kind of confused, like, what you doing here? Like, this is really sporadic. And, you know, she's playing that overzealous, desensitized, numb character. So she doesn't tell Jordan what happened, but she does tell Jordan that, you know, she's done a really sucky job at being his fiance and she wants to make it up to him. So they were going to go back to the restaurant where they met for the first time, which is the restaurant that we saw. It was a flashback, and the restaurant was torn down, and Hannah is upset. I mean, she is upset about this, and it really is just the breakdown of what's really wrong with her. And Jordan's like, you know, I would do anything for you. What is wrong? Tell me what's wrong so I can fix it. And Hannah's like, you can't fix it. And I know you would do anything for me. And that's the problem. I destroy everything that I touch. Like, homegirl just lost it. And she ends up calling off her engagement with Jordan and ends up signing all the contract paper to start her own business with Lucas, which of course Lucas is excited about, but Lucas is also very suspicious because he knows something's not right. Like, just like 2 minutes ago you were like negative, and all of a sudden you're all gung-ho. And while she's signing the paperwork like this, he notices that she doesn't have her engagement ring on, and he has this look on his face like, I think what's going on. Now, while all that's going on with Hannah, there's still other liars that we need to discuss, such as Spencer. Spencer's storyline wasn't that prominent. This episode really was focused mostly around Hannah, which is why she has more of a descriptive recap for this episode. But Spencer is just completely heartbroken because she's so in love with Caleb, which we all know she has no right to be, but I mean, she is, and there's really nothing we can do about that. But she's just so in love with Caleb, and Caleb is just fawning over Hannah. You know what I mean? And Caleb tried to rekindle what he had with Hannah, and after Hannah shut him down, he went back to Spencer. And I think Spencer realizes that, and that hurts Spencer beyond belief. Like, she's just so hurt. And what makes things worse for Spencer is that her getting fired from her job because she's been in Rosewood for too long. She's in her mom's office working on, you know, the stuff for her office, whatever. I cannot remember the political term for it. And in walks Mary Drake. So she's surprised to see her. She's like, what you doing here? And Mary Drake pretty much just says, you know, I wanted to see how Hannah's doing. I felt really guilty about, you know, not taking her to get some sort of help from officials. And so, of course, Spencer goes into true Spencer mode, like, well, you couldn't have felt that bad because you didn't take her to the hospital or to the police station. You brought her to us when you could have taken her anywhere you wanted to. You know how Spencer is, very blunt, but still beating around bushes. Yeah. So Spencer does that, and, you know, Mary Drake pretty much ends up confiding in her everything, you know, about why no one knew that Jessica had a twin sister. And come to find out, according to Mary Drake, that when they were 14 years old, Jessica was babysitting some 10-month-old baby, and the baby wouldn't stop crying, and she begged Mary to come over and to help her. Mary didn't want to, but against her better judgment, she said fine. So when she got over to the house, Jessica said the baby was upstairs asleep. She gave it a bath, and that was it. And she asked Mary to stay so that way she could go off with her boyfriend. So Mary said, fine. When the parents of that baby came home, she told them what Jessica told her. The mom went upstairs to check on the baby, and the dad was paying Mary the money for Jessica. And the mom started screaming bloody murder, and come to find out that the baby was actually dead. She told them what happened when they finally tracked down Jessica. Jessica said, well, the baby was fine when I left it with Mary. And Mary basically had to either go to Radley or go to the police, like go to jail. And her parents put her in Radley. So that's how we found out about how Mary got into Radley. Whether that's true or not, we do not know. But she did seem fairly genuine about, you know, telling the story and how everything came about. In the end, Spencer kind of empathizes with her because Spencer also was put in between a rock and a hard place about whether she is going to go to Radley or if she was going to go to jail, for her little drug problem, popping them homework pills. So she kind of empathizes with her, and, she's like, wow. She still doesn't tell Mary that she herself was admitted into Radley as well. Let's move on to Aria. Aria finally breaks up with her nerdy hipster boyfriend and cites that the reason why she's breaking up with him was because that she's got a lot of things she needs to wade through that she never finished before she left Rosewood. So she's like Casper the Friendly Ghost. She's got unfinished business. Okay. So he's like, what? Like, okay. And he's like, well, I have some news for you. I'm going to be taking over the book that you and Ezra are writing. So she's like, basically she asks, it's not going to be a conflict of interest because of her past with him and the past that he knows that she shares with Ezra. And he's like, no, we can be professional. She tells Ezra, on a park bench, and Ezra agrees, nope, I think we can all be professional. And she holds Ezra's hand, and nerdy boyfriend, or nerdy ex, hashtag Aria's new ex, sees that, and now all of a sudden, when he's with Ezra reviewing his parts of the book, he's very harsh with him and really bringing out, this issue that he has. Ezra brings that to the attention of Aria, and Aria's like, I don't understand, like, he was fine with it, why would he just, like, flip a switch like that? And so she confronts him. I think his name is Liam. I'm pretty sure his name is Liam. But she confronts him, and, he basically tries to give her an out to the fact that she still is with Ezra, still has feelings for Ezra, by saying that, I think your teacher seduced you in high school. And Aria knows full and dang well that Ezra did not seduce her. If anything, she seduced him on several occasions. And so she's like, he didn't seduce me. Like, you don't understand. It's a complicated situation. And Liam is all like, I keep trying to give you an out. I keep trying to give you a lie to give me to make everything okay, and you won't take it. And Aria finally just says, you know what? Once upon a time, I used to wish I could erase everything that happened to me. Every lie, every murder, every choice I made. But I realized that if I erased all that, I would erase who I am. And I love who I am. And that's really it. And I just have to say, Aria, good on you, because you don't need to explain yourself to anyone, like, let alone Liam, because right now Liam is just being a scorned, hurt little ex-boyfriend right now. But okay, you do you. So they're going to try and, he's going to try and not be vindictive, and actually properly review the pages. And that's kind of where it left off with Aria. Now, Emily, her storyline is tied in to Allison's. As I said in the first episode, they're kind of revisiting the Emerson story, love line, or whatever. But basically, Emily gets a mystery phone call from Allison from an unknown number asking her for help. She tries to go to the hospital, and the hospital says, oh, nobody is allowed, only family. Orders of Dr. Rawlings, which is Allison's husband, Elliot Rawlings. The one who I said, okay, when we first saw him last season, was a little sus. So he's all like, yeah, right now she had a psychotic break pretty much, and she just needs to be in isolation. She doesn't need to be with anyone right now, only family. I spoke to Jason, which is her brother, and he agreed to it. So Emily is obviously really worried, and she doesn't tell Elliot about the phone call that she got, and she goes and consults with the rest of them. She wants to drag Mary Drake in and get Mary to try to help her see Allie, because she feels really guilty, because now she knows that Uber A's attention is all on Allie and no longer on Hannah, and she's afraid of what they might have done to Allie. So, of course, everyone's like, absolutely not. We're not bringing Mary in. For all we know, Mary is Uber A. So Aria, Spencer, and Emily decide to talk to Elliot, and Elliot's like, listen, I get it, you're her friends, but I've been taking care of her for the past 5 years, and I'm doing what's best for her. And Spencer doesn't like that, because she's like, okay, you're saying that we're not being objective as her friends, but maybe being her husband and her doctor, you're not being objective either. Which, of course, when you're trying to get something from someone, making a comment like that or accusing them of something isn't going to get you what you want. And that's what Emily and Aria basically told her. And she said, well, he's being a hypocrite, and I don't like that. Obviously, he's not going to change the rules, so let's just forget it. Emily's still persistent on, getting married, and everyone keeps saying, no, leave it alone. But by chance, or maybe not, Emily runs into Mary Drake at the Radley Inn, which went from being an insane asylum, pretty much, to a very lavish, posh hotel and bar. Restaurant kind of a deal. So she talks to Mary. Mary doesn't confide in her, which she confided in Spencer, but Mary does agree to help her go see Allison. Next thing we know, we see Allison, and she sees Emily. Now, at first we thought that it was just a dream, but it's actually reality, because we see the nurse and we see Mary Drake. So Allison's all like, hey, we're gonna be late for our flight, we gotta go. And Emily's like, oh, we can just catch another flight, like, are you okay? She said, yeah, I'm fine. And then she's like, well, you called me and you didn't seem fine, you asked for help. And Allison didn't even remember calling her, or whatever the case may be. And she's like, am I in Radley? And Emily's like, no, you're not. And she's like, okay, I was going to be really worried. At this point, Mary Drake walks forward, and she sees Mary, but she doesn't know about the twin thing. So she thinks she sees her mom. So now she revisits to the first season, because remember, Allison was buried alive, and that, witchy old lady helped pulled her out. And we found out that it was Allison's mom who buried her throughout the series. So now she's like, Mom, why did you leave me in the dirt? It was so cold. How could you? Mary, I don't know if Mary realizes any of this happened. I really don't know. We still don't know a lot about Mary. But Mary's really taken back by that comment, and she's getting a little uncomfortable. And at that moment, the lights come on, and Elliot comes in, and he's like, what's going on? And he's like, I didn't authorize this. And the nurse is like, but she's her aunt, blah, blah, blah. And he forces everyone to leave. And Allison screams, please don't leave me, Emily. Please don't leave me. But Emily doesn't say anything. She just looks at her so sad and walks away. Elliot calls them outside, and he wants to speak to Mary and tells the nurse no one is allowed in. And he starts going off on Mary. Like, what are you doing? You got your money, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All while Emily's sitting there texting the gang saying, hey, there's something going on between Mary and Elliot. And Mary's like, I technically didn't get my money, and I didn't agree or sign up to what you're doing to this little girl. Like, what you're doing is wrong. So now, of course, this season leaves us, well, not this season, but this episode leaves us really confused with mixed emotions about Mary Drake. Okay? And that's pretty much just the whole entire episode. I felt like this episode was so much better. It kept my attention. It kept me captivated. Girl. Boy. Okay? It was such a good episode. Great job. Great writing. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. And this is the episode that kind of makes me sad that this is this series season finale. Just a little bit. But that's all. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to be a member of the Gigi Meistermer Pod and go swimming with us on all of our adventures, it's super easy to do. All you have to do is rate, comment, subscribe, and share, because sharing is caring. And you can catch me for sure every Sunday and every Tuesday, because I always give you Pretty Little Liar Tuesday reviews and Once Upon a Time Sunday reviews. And as of late, every Thursday, I'm giving you book reviews. I try to do them every Thursday, but it all depends on how quickly I can get through a book. Thanks again for watching. Loves and likes ya. Bye!